Good afternoon, everyone. Do me one favor. I got like 3 accounts on my phone. I just want to make sure I logged in. I'm going live on the right account because I'm not. Can you just type there and tell me which account am I live on? That's it, please. If you can just please tell me which account that I'm on before I start speaking. If anyone can just type there and tell me that if it's VPAC page I'm on or Dorwain Bess page. Please. Can somebody tell me which page I'm on? Because I hit live and I'm not sure which page that I go live on. Can you just please help me answer that question before I start speaking? Can you just say if it's VPAC or Dorwain Bess? It's VPAC. Beautiful. Well, if you can, anyone out there, I have this. This pains me, people. It pains me to have to do this live. But I want to address everything today, and I want the world to know, and I want you to see this is not AI, this is me speaking. So I'm asking of you, that someone out there, to tag Amanza, tag Nigel London, tag every news agency, tag the sitting government, tag the LGBTQ, tag whoever else you think will need to hear this. Because I promise you, I'm not here to fight. I'm not here to scream. I'm not here to yell. I am here because I've spent 5 years trying to clear my name. This hurts me. 5 years. Not using anyone in the opposition, but being a voice for myself. And the fact that I have to come back to the internet. Please help me get the numbers up. Tag whoever needs to be tagged. Tag Amanza. Tag Nigel, like I said. Tag anyone in the government. The vice president. Tag the president. Tag the head of the LGBTQ. What's his name? Joel Simpson. Richie, I'm live, bro. You can talk to me live. I'm asking of you to do me a favor, people. Just tag these people, because what I have to say today, I want the world, I don't want them to hear it later on. They can listen to it live while I'm saying it. It pains me to have to come on this internet. It pains me to have to come on this internet. To have to defend myself against people I believe, not I called, I believe, is my brother and sister. You know, there's an old saying, what's in the dark might find its way to light. Everything I'm going to say today, I challenge Amanza and Nigel to walk up the court step and sue me for defamation, for libel. Because I'm going to tell it like it is. I'm not going to cuss anyone out. I'm not going to talk bad about anyone. But I'm going to tell you like it is. Because I'm going to say it again. It pains me. Please tag Amanza. Tag Newsroom. I want everybody to know. Tag Travis Chase. I see they got a story up. They need to know the other side. There's one side, the other, and the truth. I'm begging you. That's my favor today. Get them on the live. Because what I'm seeing on the internet today, and what I'm hearing on the internet, is Dorwain Bess, the founder and leader of VPAC, has a problem. He's selfish, he's greedy, and he's fighting for power. And to know that this is coming from the same people I basically would have taken a bullet for hurts. Because I don't want power. I never wanted power. I came in this country and I didn't need to team up with a Manza, Nigel, or anyone to do what I did. I did it by myself. Okay? So it behoves me to think. That we got one seat. I'm coming from a life of success. I'm coming from a place of success. And I understand what the struggle is to get to success. I don't know if anybody else understands that. I realize that you have to play your part. If I know I'm not a captain, I'm not gonna try to fly the plane. If I know I'm not a captain, but I have a plane, I'll hire a captain. And this is why I want Amanza to listen to this, because I want her to respond to what I'm gonna say today. I'm waiting for the numbers to get up before I start speaking, because I want to tell her and Nigel to sue me when I'm done, because I am going to respond to them openly and publicly for the first time. And I challenge them, because Nigel texted me a couple nights ago that he's going to sue this. Sue me for telling the truth, that I want power, or VPAC is fighting for power. You know, it is sad that I got into this and people thought I was crazy when I made a comment that I'm not a politician. Politicians are people that lie, but I never expected that even from a pastor. I said, I challenge anyone to go back to my first press conference at the Carol Lodge. What I said was, I'm not a politician. Politicians are people that tell you what you want to hear before election, and after election, they forget. They don't care anymore. Politicians are people that tell you what you want to hear before an election, and after you cast your vote, they forget. But this is why, even a few days ago, my good sister, beautiful soul, Simona, that's the difference with me and people I surround myself with. I am not here to divide. I will do anything in my power to see us as a people live as one. Kevin, I'm in live, bro. Why are you calling me? I know y'all don't want me to do this live. I promise you I wouldn't do this live. But I have to clear my name, Kevin. I've been sitting here being accused of being a fraudster, of being a smuggler, and 5 years later, all the cases are out the court. And for me to be called a fraudster or a crook by Nigel London, that hurts. That hurts. Because Nigel knows. Let me see where the numbers are before I get into what I got to get into. Tag the government. Please, if Anadi got 1 minute, when y'all tell me he's there, I have to say what I have to say because I know he's a busy man. Okay? Tag the LGBTQ. I hope I get the acronym correct. Tag them. And make sure Manza and Nigel is looking so they can sue me when I'm done. Because all I want is for us to live together. It's for us to work together, including the government. That has always been my position. Okay? All I want is for us to live together and work together. That's why you saw me 2 days ago in a room with APNU, with AFC, with ALP, because Bess don't want power. I was the first person out of this coalition that we have right now that met with Terrence Campbell, Simona Brooms, what's his name? Raphael Trotman, former Minister of Infrastructure. He's now the leader. Nigel Hughes. And you challenge them on anything that I'm saying here. When I sat at that table with them, I told them, listen, I am here because of what I would have suffered. And I don't want to see anyone else suffer the way I did. I said that this publicly on numerous occasions. I don't know if the government was directly involved or if their cronies was used. I said it in a newsroom once, and I've continued to say that because we're in a country where people will use their influence. Okay? People will use it, but I know, and the world knows, what I faced. So how can I, me, Dorwain, the person that suffered the most discrimination, be a part of breaking up any party? Nah, man. That ain't really make no sense, man. This thing hurt. That is why I want Amanza to listen to this. Amanza must come clean. They are mad at me because I endorse President Ali's second term. Who am I supposed to endorse? Amanza and Nigel, well, Nigel was mad before. Amanza and Nigel are mad at me because I endorse that man's second term. Let me ask a question. Isn't President Ali named President Ali? So me saying his name is President Ali, I am wrong for saying that? I am wrong for saying the man's name is what his name is? I'm supposed to call him what because you call him whatever name you call him, I must call. No, his name is President Ali. And yes, he won. Unless you prove otherwise, unless you can prove otherwise, I will continue to endorse him. And that's not because I got no license, because I challenge any one of you to go check any records that I have a license or I've received a license from the government. And even if I do, I am entitled to it. You know why? It was taken from me. It was taken from me. Just like if I'm driving this car and someone takes it from me and the law allows me to get it back, there's nothing wrong if the law gives me back or the government chooses to give me back my license. So I don't feel like I should owe any qualm with anyone if I get my license back. But how can you be mad at me for endorsing? That is maturity. That is maturity, people. Unless I know there's all kinds of whisper campaign what happened in that election. But listen, I grew up in a first world country. When a president is sworn in, election is over. And you move beyond fighting who won, unless there's an election petition. I see Forward Guyana filed one. You notice I said I see? Because I wasn't any part of it. I don't want to be a member of the PPP. So whoever's saying that, don't come here and troll. Okay? I am telling you where this started. If this is not the life for you, then you should get off. Where it started with Nigel is when I said what I said on, what is it? The LGBTQ. I said that adults should not be policed. Any adult should be free to live their life, do whatever they please behind closed doors. You can't tell me we're supposed to have laws in Guyana that tell a grown man what to do behind his door, behind closed doors. He's an adult. He should be free to do what he please. So why would you be mad at me because that was my public position? This was my public position. I didn't say this is Forward Guyana position. This is my position. So how is it that you're mad at me for saying I don't believe any adult should be policed. They should be free to live their life. And if any law should be changed, it must be a consensus of the people and a consensus that involve religious leaders. That is what I said, and I stand by that. How can you be mad at me for saying that a grown man that chooses to date another man or a grown woman that chooses to date another woman, we should have laws to lock them up? Why are you mad at me for that? How can you be mad at me for that? Now listen to these three things. A man won the presidency. Who am I going to endorse? I congratulate Bess for winning. Bess didn't win. I congratulate who won. I congratulated who won. Go back, you'll see in the public space, VPAC congratulated who won. VPAC had no problem with grown adults doing what they feel. And that is where this started. That is where the problem started, people. Dorwain Bess is a United States citizen who does not have the ability, unless he renounces his citizenship, to go into the National Assembly as a member of parliament. The date that I met with Amanza, myself and Nigel, on the very first day, I am telling you what I said. I said to Amanza, why don't you be the leader or the presidential candidate for VPAC? So if I'm offering her that from the first day, how now, what sense does that make? Sometimes we have to just use our common sense, people. What sense does that make? That I'm now saying that I wanted, or I'm fighting for power. What power? Even if Amanza coming live right now and say, Bess, you won. I can't go to parliament. I am not on a list. I'm not a candidate. What was said in that meeting, without Nigel, with Amanza, is you. And what was promised was if we win 1 seat, we will rotate. If we win 2 seats, we will rotate. If we win 3 seats, we'll have 1 each. That is common sense, people. That's what any coalition would do, because we were already in existence. Amanza didn't even have a party, much less a name. She was still going to go form a new party. So how could she have come there and demand anything more than that? Because she didn't have a name. She was still thinking what she's going to. Matter of fact, she was still with the APNU. So why are you out there saying that Bess is fighting for what? Amanza, Nigel, let me say this, and Nigel, you remember me saying this about you, bro. That you can go to any meeting without me because I trust you that much. Amanza, I said this to you publicly and privately, that I endorse you. I love you. I want you to be the first female president of this country. I said that because I meant it. So how do I walk back now and say I don't want you to be the president? You and Nigel know in your heart, bro, that y'all called me and said you wanted 3 years and Nigel wanted 2 years after the election was over. And I said to you, that would be unfair because you promised Francis that he will go to parliament. You then said, don't tell Francis. So how do I be a leader of a movement and not go tell a member of the same movement that he expect me to be a trusted leader of, that I just negotiated for you not to go behind your back? Come on, people, man. What y'all doing to me here? What did I do with me? I don't want no power. I said to both of you, I'm a businessman first. I came into politics because I realized the situation here for many people is not fair. And the only way they can even demand more is if we as leaders teach them. Because people might, the president might come to the community, what y'all want? What y'all want? Fix the road. Oh, fix the road? I don't put no money in your pocket. So it is our job to properly educate the Guyanese people. Each one, teach one. That is our job. Power for me? No, I don't want power. Please, people, I do not want power. I never did. This car that I'm in, I want power for this because I own it. The sunglasses is mine. I own it. How can I be a part of a movement that my name is not even on the list as a candidate, but I'm fighting for power? Why would y'all do this? Why would y'all even allow this to go public? Why would y'all even allow? Do not blame VPAC for taking this public because we did not. And I challenge anything I'm saying. I'll give any reporter my phone, and they will see the conversation was had between us privately until Amanza went private, accusing VPAC of bullying her. Bullying for what? Somebody bullied Amanza. Bully for what? We supported, we endorsed Amanza. We supported you. We supported you, Amanza. We were the one that supported you. Go back and look at all the lives. I endorsed Amanza and Nigel like, yo, once they in power, I can sleep. So, oh, now I come back saying I want power. What sense does that make when y'all can go check the clips yourself? What power? I don't want power. I never did. And I still don't. What I want is if we are going to commit to doing something, let us hold ourselves to that higher standards. Let us hold ourselves. We cannot sit here. Amanza said to us when we first met that, and it's not nothing bad, one of the reasons she wanted to leave the PNC is because they looked at her as, because she's young and she's new, that she doesn't have what it takes to be a leader. And I thought that was crazy. And I still think that's crazy. because she wanted to be the presidential candidate or maybe the prime minister, whatever it was. And I thought that was bad of Norton. I told Norton that, and I told her that. This has nothing to do with how many years a person has. This has to do with a lot more than how many years they have in politics. So I then said to her, let's work together. So how do we come out now and practice the same thing that we condemned? By saying, Francis can't go to Parliament because he's new. Everyone has a first day in Parliament. Everyone has a first day driving. Everyone has a first day in school. Everyone will have a first day flying. We all have a day one. The reason why we know today she's a really good politician who sounds really good in Parliament is because we the people gave her an opportunity to go there and represent us. Why is it that we are now saying Francis is new, and unless he can go, he can build capacity? Where is he going to build capacity? In a fake Parliament? Or are we going to clone a Parliament and put Francis there and just tell him to debate so we can see? We got to put him in Parliament because that is what we commit to do it. But you know what's amazing about this, people? And why I'm really hurt about this? And I'm telling you this, and I challenge Nigel and I challenge Amanda to condemn this or to say this is not true. I am telling you now, and I want you to see my eyes as I say this. I told Amanda when she said that, and I told Nigel, I personally would give Amanda all 5 years. Because this is not about power. This is not about, if Amanda's in there and she's doing a good job, let her stay all 5 years. Pastor London, question this. The day y'all told me 3 years, 2 years, did I not say I wouldn't even mind if Amanda stays since we only won 1 seat? Nigel, please condemn this. Did I not say because we only got 1 seat, I will not even have a problem with Amanda staying the entire 5 years? I challenge you as a pastor to tell me that I didn't say this on that same phone call. But what I said is because we made a commitment to Francis, the approach on it is wrong. You can't just change the agreement with midstream. Let us have it. Maybe let me try to talk to Francis and see that. I can't just go tell Francis you change the agreement. That is what I said. And that is where the problem was. At no material time I ever said I had a problem with Amanda doing the entire 5 years, and I'm saying it now publicly for the first time. Because that's what I said and that's how I felt. Because I felt at the time she's the most experienced. Why interrupt a flow if she's in there, she's doing a good job? Why change the rotation? This is not about me, it's about the people. So if she is doing a good job for the people, what the hell I go in the Parliament for? But I can't go. Francis. That is what I've said, Amanda. And you know I said that. And you know in your heart I've said that. Calling me. You know in your heart I said that. And if you people want to question this, we had a disabled, the only disabled, what do you call it, a candidate, the only one. Ask Amanda and Nigel, where is she now? Althea King left the ANUG, I think it is, right? And joined us. Where is she now? Where's the election campaign manager, Renee? Why did he disappear? Why is it that, are you blaming Bess for all of this? Because Bess had no part of that. My point that I'm getting at, Amanda, it is saddened. I'm saddened to know that you would allow us to be fighting on this internet and for people to believe that we actually are fighting for power, or I am actually fighting for power. That breaks my heart, and I want you to know this. And if you somehow feel by putting out today that you have distanced yourself from VPAC, you have distanced yourself from VPAC a very long time, both you and Nigel. You have just said it publicly. But this happened a long time ago. And you knew there's a lot more that I'm not ready to put, I probably would never put, because as much as you're trying to challenge us like we're throwing out, you know if I hand my phone to any person right now, all the evidence to what I'm saying is there, and a lot more to discredit everything you guys are saying publicly. Because the beautiful thing is they're on record. I can't go create a message from you nor Nigel. I cannot. But I'm not going to do that. Because we should not even be here. I shouldn't even be on this internet. If we came into to office to hold a sitting government accountable, why are we fighting to hold each other accountable? Why are we having this fight? Why? You know, Amanda, the first day you met me, you told me, you whipped out your from your little bag, told me put your phone away so no one is recording, and you showed me your pay stub from Parliament. You said, Bess, you're a big businessman in this country. What are you doing with this? What are you going to Parliament for? I said, man, I don't want to go to Parliament. I never did. What I want is my message to go to Parliament. That is the conversation we've had, Amanza. This is not me bashing you on the internet. This is me telling the truth. I have said to you, I don't want to go. But if you're going to sit there and commit to giving a man something, then there's better ways of telling him you change your mind than just picking up the phone and say, I don't want Francis to go no more. He's a human being. If you beat him, he's going to cry. That's when Nigel messaged me the other night and said, why is Francis making these crazy emojis? I said to Nigel then in the text message, and the record will show, you cannot fault a man if you did not held up your agreement for feeling how he feels. So if you beat him, of course he's going to cry. That was exactly what I texted you, Nigel. That was my text. Can you tell the public what you text me back? You notice I'm not saying it? Can you tell the public what's in the letters that I wrote to you? You notice I'm not saying it? You notice the letters are not public? Can you tell the public what are the challenges and what are the problems we have personally? You notice you're not saying that? You're omitting, you're pulling little parts that you can show. Can you tell the public, can you show the entire minutes to the public? People, this problem should not be in the public space. Francis Bailey does not have to go to Parliament. VPAC does not have to go to Parliament. It is in the manner in which the coalition demanded that VPAC don't go that created a problem. And that started because they felt like they can't control me and can't control Francis because they did not want me to endorse the president. I did not want me to say what I said at the LGBTQ at manifesto launching. So they felt like we agreed on saying this and you said that. No, I am my own person. I'm not going to be controlled by anyone. And that is why I was clear when I said what I said. That was my personal position. When I told you when I endorsed the president, that was my VPAC. That's why I didn't say Forward Guyana endorsed. I said VPAC endorsed the president on his second term. That was the mature thing to do. What are we going to do? What Norton did? Guess what Norton did? He said he ain't shaking the president's hand. Who suffers when Norton doesn't shake the president's hand? Norton or the 200 and something people that voted for APNU? That is that's not the kind of politics we need. People are suffering in this country. And don't tell us on a live that there's a lot of work to do, because we know there's a lot of work to do. That's why we gave 2 motions to you. Well, one, and Francis has the other, and you didn't submit it. The PNC submitted what? APNU submitted what? 30, 40? We submitted 0. Why? Because of people's personal ego. Are we doing the people's work? Are we doing our personal work? Because if there's a lot of work to do, even if you don't like what VPAC did, what is this to table a motion? That is too personal again, man. So if you're going to come to the internet, come and tell the truth. Because you know, and we all know, the evidence is there to support it. No one ever wanted to fight with you, Amanza. We supported you. We endorsed you. We stood behind you. That is what we did. We never, ever wanted power. And I challenge Francis to come on this live and tell me otherwise. I challenge you to come on this live. Tag me and invite yourself. You know that is what was said. You know that's what was communicated. It's even in writing and text messages. Nobody wants power. Up to this day, we left the meeting. Y'all never talked to us since. I sent you a motion. What did you say when I sent the motion? What, tell the people the real truth. We walked out of the meeting because you refused to answer a simple question. Are you prepared to honor the agreement? You know what the agreement is. I don't care about writing. You know what we agreed to. This is not a multi-million US dollar transaction. This is us fighting over a seat, arguing over a seat. No, I don't want nothing in writing. If you can't honor your word, then it tells me who you are. I just move on. But it wasn't me. I was arguing for Francis. Oh, a matter of fact, Francis and I agreed that once you honor that 1/3, which would have been like a year, 6 months, we would have given the election agent, who was Nicholas Chesney, I think Francis and I agreed 6 months. So how is Bess fighting for you? You publicly said Nicholas Chesney is a darling of a person. I think he is too. What is wrong with giving Nicholas 6 months for the work that he did? So what are you going to say now? He's too new, he's too young? But he wasn't too new or too young to be the first time in his life the election agent. What is wrong with that? Why are we fighting over that? We came together. We worked together. We say we're gonna celebrate together. We're gonna break bread together. But one time we're gonna break bread, you all over there and just locking us out. Nicholas Chesney had an interview with me. I promised Nicholas Chesney, whatever VPAC gets, we will break it with you. Call Nicholas Chesney. Anyone in Guyana. Interview the election agent, Nicholas Chesney. Ask him what was promised to him. Whatever VPAC gets, he'll get a part of. Ask him what I promised him after the election. I said we only got one seat, which means we're entitled to a year and about 6 months, 33%. I'll give you 6 months out of it. Verify that behind my back. How is that Bess fighting for power? All Bess said is, as the chairman of VPAC, give the VPAC what you promised him. I, for the life of me, don't see how that makes me a bad person. How? And I'm saying again, I also said to Nicholas and Francis, but in the interest of fairness, if a man's is doing a good job, let her do the full 5 years. Ask both of them that behind my back. Call them now while I'm in this live and ask them that question. And they'll tell you that's what I said. Because in my view, if someone is there, they're doing a good job, why move them? Why? If she's doing the people's work, what are you rotating her for? So how is this me being selfish? How? How is it us coming up to the public? This came to the public because a man went to the public and said, BPAC is bullying her and she's a woman. What woman? I endorsed the woman. I supported the woman. I love this woman. It hurts me to even sit in this live and say what I'm saying. I told someone called me 24 hours ago, I would come back to this public space and apologize for everything I've said and make a man to look like the shining star again, even if it makes me look bad. I've said that 24 hours ago. The person could play the record. I tell them, record me if you want. Why? Because it hurts me that she has to look the way she looks in public. But no one is lying. Everything that you're hearing and you're seeing, we can verify. We can verify. So how can you go out there and say VPAC is bullying you? Bullying you for what? The voicemail says it itself. Nigel said he thinks it's only fair for VPAC to have something of credit because of the public optics, so we don't look like the regular parties. That's what Nigel came out and said. You respond and say we can make Francis the deputy leader of the list. He is a whatever kind of candidate. What you said. Then Nigel came back and said, but I don't see why. What is the challenge of him being the leader of the list since you're the presidential candidate? You then came back and said, well, it's a normal thing. Then you further said, which is on the recording in the minutes, on the voice note, that you, as far as you're concerned, as an attorney, is what you said. Who do I listen to? The woman I love? Not in love with, as my leader. She's an attorney. I think she knows everything. Francis' position and hers is equal. One can't act without the other. That is on the same recording. You said to us that Francis Bailey being the deputy leader and you being the leader, no appointments can be made without the two of you working together. Moron Bess listens and believe. Until we did our own research, like, wait, this is not the truth. The point is, Amanza, you know you said that. We overlooked that, but then you're trying to make us look out here like we didn't. So we didn't leak no recording. That's why I publish it myself, so you can hear and be reminded of what you, Amanza, said. You said it was election eve, not election eve, what do you call it again? The nomination, the eve of the nomination day. You said we were out of time. You spoke to some lady, I forgot her name, and you will talk to her and reverse it at a later date. So after we spent 5 hours in the first meeting arguing about who said this and who didn't say that, and who said this, and Francis, your name really Francis, and Bess, is you really a criminal, and did you tell this one that, did you tell that, and did you tell? I said, listen, before we have to spend in a second meeting, when we walked in, we didn't spend 30 minutes, we spent 5. I said, Amanza and Nigel, I am prepared to spend as long as we have to for us to ash out what we have to, go back in the public. The minutes will show this. The recording will show this. I am prepared to spend as long as we have to. The last meeting was 5 hours. The second meeting that we have was, like, I don't plan to spend another 5 hours here, but I think we said we're not going to spend 5 hours too. I'm not planning on spending 2 hours here if at the end of it, you are still not prepared to honor the agreement. So here's what we're going to ask you. Are you prepared? I don't see, how are we being disrespectful here? Comments, please tell me. I'm begging you. before we have to spend 2 hours tonight, and for the next year, every week we spend 4 hours in the meeting. At the end of this, are you prepared to honor the agreement? You responded as, you're not a little girl. Nobody's going to talk to you. Talk to you how? We're just asking a simple question. Because what is the purpose of these meetings? The end of it is, do we still rotate the seat? So if we're going to have 20, 30, 40 meetings and we still not going to rotate the seat, what are we having the meetings for? What's the purpose? So I then said, I don't see the need for this meeting to continue, and I exited. I didn't go public with it. I didn't say nothing. Francis is hurt, and he's supposed to be. So he made his cartoons, and Nigel sent it to me. And this went back public again because of fights when Nigel texted me publicly. And I'm sure you saw, because you're in the same group chat. Because Nigel is a scientist, you're a lawyer. I don't have neither one of those degrees, but what I have is a level of brilliance. There's no school that teaches that. And you, Nigel, know, and Amanda know, that people very close to you recognize me as a very brilliant person, even needing my help to help them to be successful. But that's not for this live, because we're supposed to be brothers. You refused to answer. I sent you the motion, Nigel, and you ignored it until Francis made a post. I didn't even know. I'm driving down the road. So I responded to you peacefully. I said, what do you expect? The man is crying. You can't beat a man and tell him don't cry. Then you started calling me names. I'm an intellectual dwarf. Francis is a lunatic who's not a crackhead. This is a pastor, brother, calling names. Come on, Nigel. You're supposed to be the brother in the room creating peace. When I had problems in my marriage, I went to a pastor. When I had problems with a business partner, I went to a pastor. So I'm happy now our movement have a pastor inside of it. And now you're picking sides. Who's trying to bully your sister? Nobody's trying to bully Amanda. I would defend Amanda publicly tomorrow if I have to. If somebody come out and say something that is not what the case is, I would. And I want that to go on record too. Because nobody's trying to bully Amanda. None. And we never did. What we asked is for us to honor our agreement and the commitment that we made to the people. And this is embarrassing that we have to do this publicly, but you're not going to go out there, or anybody's going to go out there and trash my name, and I'm going to just sit there and roll over. I've did that for 5 years. BM Sot accused me of trying to extort them. You see what happened to the case? It didn't even make it to trial. The state pulled it back. The government accused me of smuggling fuel. Well, Sharma. You see what happened to the case? So what makes me a crook, Nigel? You called me a crook. A hood rat businessman. You get my point? You're not telling people this. A pastor telling the leader of a movement he's a hood rat businessman. He's a crook. What have I done to you, Nigel? But ask you to honor the agreement that we have as brothers. Why didn't we sign to date? Why aren't we having these conversations? We met with Simona. We met with all the other coalition partners. Why is it that if we love the people so much, who insisted that we didn't even sign the joiner list? Imagine all those votes that we had, and Simona Brooms have, and AFC have, could have gone to waste because of greed and power. Why didn't we sign the joiner list? The chat is there to see who said no. Why didn't we? Terence Campbell knows who said no. Simona Brooms know who said no. Nigel, you know who said no. Amanda, you know. Why when everyone wanted us to work as a group, why we didn't do what the people wanted us to do? Who was the reason behind us saying no to a grand coalition in this Forward Guyana movement? Answer that. Who insisted that we rather the votes go to waste than to sign a joiner? If you want to call VPAC bad, VPAC met with everyone and tell them we're prepared to sign that joiner list. Who said no in this circle? Who was the person that didn't care, preferred 3,000 or 4,000 people to vote and to go to waste because of power hungry, that we should not sign the joiner list? Tell the public that. Tell the public who said no to that. Who said we should never even sit in the same room with Win when I told you, let us all work together? Who said no? Who came back with the intelligence from wherever the intelligence came from that we should stay 10,000 miles away? Who is now hugging and kissing Win? Who thought that was a ticking time bomb? Come on, people. This ain't a VPAC problem. VPAC was used as a horse, as a donkey, as a pit bull to go out there and do stuff. But there's a saying, people will use you until they have no more uses for your usefulness. You get that? People will use you. Election is there. Best you go out through the pit bull. You do this, you do this, you do this, you do. Because your story is real. But now there's no more use. So you don't need us. So this is not a new, oh, the X on my chest in red. This is always there. Our job was to take us to the finish line. You said it yourself publicly. Who in their right mind would believe that we entered into a coalition that expires on the day you're supposed to celebrate? Let me pause for 1 minute here. Let us use our common sense. VPAC, a businessman like me, who everybody knows a multi-billionaire in this country, I mean, did billions of dollars of business in this country, I correct myself, is so stupid. That's why Nigel said, I'm an intellectual dwarf, because he's right. That I enter into agreement, or we did. And guess what the agreement says? It expires the day we're supposed to decide, did you win or did you lose? You know what happened there, Nigel? You know what happened there, Amanza? We trusted you. We were operating on trust as a circle. Nobody cared for power. Nobody cared, and we still don't care for power. And we never did, and we never will. We never did, and we never will. My success track record speaks for itself. I might not have a degree of a scientist or an attorney, but I've done a lot more than a lot of people that I know with twice those degrees. And I can challenge them publicly anytime on that. I put both of them together. Come publicly and let's debate who have done more. So for me, I have a level of brilliance that ain't no college can sell. So we can sit there and fool ourselves all day long that because you're a lawyer, you're a scientist, you can outsmart. No, you didn't outsmart us. We trusted you. And what you said was, this agreement is a code of conduct, how we would operate. Have you noticed that agreement speaks nothing to what the position that the chairman will hold? Like, he's a chairman. Chairman of what? Chairman of voices? Chairman of looks? Chairman of clothes? Chairman of shirts? I ain't no fool. That's just you saying he's a chairman. If I was the chairman, how come, answer this question, we went to court. Now, Forward Guyana have to fine $4 million. And I was never notified. I never knew. I saw on the internet. You invited me to that press conference. And I said, I'm not coming. You know why I didn't go to that press conference, Amanda? Because you could not have been woman enough to tell me what you're taking the government to court for. So why are you coming? What am I defending in front on the press? Why are you asking me to come sit next to you in the press to defend what I don't even know and I didn't even approve of? I didn't know you were going to court. You never told me. I saw the letter that you didn't sign on to the ERC. You know what I found out? Your candidate, not me, your candidate called me. Asked me, Mr. Bess, is that how we operate as an organization? I said, what are you talking about? We are not signing on to the ERC. I said, I had to lie because I did not want her to know we're so divided when we're portraying in public that we're a circle. I found out on the internet that we didn't sign on to the ERC. We agreed that anything we do will be approved by the three leaders. Did Nigel tell me that we are going against the ERC, so we're not signing on to the contract? Did you ever tell me that we're going to court and taking the government to court? Never did. Did you ever show me the money that we collect in the campaign? Never did. Did I not ask you for it? Yes, I did. Did I write you about it? Yes, I did. Did you respond? No, you didn't. I am a person that likes to put things in writing conveniently. The conversation is there. Take my phone. Anybody in this world can take my phone and verify everything I just said. So how are we bad when we're the one in the background just being punched? And we're not saying nothing. Because we care about you, Amanza. I'm telling you that now. We cared. But unless we as a people change the way we think, change the way we operate, remove greed from ourselves, we're not going to go nowhere. Because we're no different from the people we try to fight against. How are we going to stand in Parliament? I'm still waiting to see. How would you be able to stand in Parliament and say, I'm trying to hold you accountable? I'm waiting for the response. Look who's talking about accountability. For what? For what? That's what Parliament is going to do. Because you can't stand and speak for accountability when accountability is not even at home. And I'm telling you this as the leader. We never wanted one day in Parliament. What we wanted was just to get you to say out your mouth what you agreed to. And Francis can confirm this, and Nigel can confirm this, and Nicholas can confirm this, Altia can confirm this, Bibi can confirm this. This is what I said. We don't care for no day in Parliament. We're going to give you motions and you're going to argue them. Because we know you. That's what you're good at. We don't know you're the best captain for the ship. Go ahead, make me look good. Make the three of us look good. Make the people look good. That is what we want from you, Amanza. We don't want to fight with you. So all this nonsense, pull it back. Because all it's going to do is force us to come out and tell the public and the world more that you don't want to happen. Because all the conversations we have is captured. All, not some, all. We do not need this, Amanza. What we need is a Guyana that works for everybody. There is a government, we are the opposition. What do? When the government is right, you give them a free pass. When they're wrong, you call them out. We want to be a government, an opposition, we just the opposition for the opposition, just everything is wrong? No. If the government is right, we will tell them they're right. If they're wrong, we'll tell them they're wrong. That's what the opposition is for, to fight for the people. I love you. That's why I fought for you. That's why I gave you that position. Same for Nigel. But your attitude lately is showing something else. It's showing selfishness. It's showing greed. Fix that. You ain't got to partner back with VPAC. Fix it for yourself. Because it's not a good look. I don't care who say different. I'm not even reading the comments because I don't care. It's a bad image. I don't have no track record of trying to fight no politician. If I really wanted power, the first thing I would have done was renounce my citizenship. That would have been the first thing I would have done. If I really wanted power, I would have written to the U.S. Embassy and tell them, I'm surrendering my U.S. passport. I didn't do that. Come on, common sense. So if I didn't do that, how is it I'm fighting for power? How can I be fighting for power when the first step was to renounce my citizenship? That would have been step one. I didn't do that. So if there's no greed here, I would not encourage greed in my camp. I wouldn't encourage it. Francis is listen, I got my past. I made mistakes in life, like everyone else did. I can count in my hands those mistakes. I can call them out and tell you publicly and defend them anytime. Okay? Best like women. You ain't like man. Best is a businessman. He had some problems. Best used to sell fuel. People accuse you of smoke. People accusing the opposition leader right now of all kinds of stuff. People accusing the president of all kinds of stuff. I'm a saint. Everybody have a past. What the difference is, I came out here and I wanted a different for the Guyanese people. I didn't want power for me, nor for anyone. And I'm saying to you, Amans, and I hope you're watching, that VPAC have and always had nothing but love for you. But we're not going to be trampled over. We're not going to be stumped. You're not going to do that. We're going to defend ourselves. So we don't care what you wrote out there. If we see you do good, we'll still defend you. We'll still support you. Because we're not power hungry. We're not. We fought. You didn't win that seat. I didn't win that seat. Nigel and we as a people, we came together. We came together and win that seat, Amanza. We came together and win that seat, Nigel. The three of us. Even if we got one vote that made it possible for VPAC. Just one. Guess what? It is the one that made it possible that you couldn't get by yourself. That's why it's called a circle, like Nigel said. And what we promised each other as brothers going into this is what we should uphold. Because this makes us look like fools. We got 4 years to rebrand our image. Wherever you go, wherever we go. And I hope that this rebranding is to show the people and to remove this level of selfishness. I honestly hope that. I, from my heart, hopes that. I'm disappointed in both of you. I am disappointed. Because y'all both know from day one, everywhere I go, every other leader in this country that I met will tell you, the first word out of Best mouth, me want nothing. Me didn't want position. I just want to help. Then you went on the internet and accused me of wanting to sell the seat. Last time I checked, you can only sell something that you have. How can I be, what the government need receipts for? Government got what, 7 seats more? They had 1, they got 7 now. What are they going to do with it? Make 8? What is that 1 seat going to change? So why am I trying to sell this seat? What sense does that make? You wrote that on your page. You're calling me and everybody else juvenile politicians. You put Hashtag Bess. Deceit is not for sale. Hashtag Bess. And when I asked you in the meeting, you said, that's how you spell best. B-S, or whatever your justification was. Like, yeah, we're stupid. I let it slide. Because I'm not here to fight with you. The girl over the river. She became popular when? What is her biggest success in life? She spoke about Adriana Young, and she went live and she got a huge following. So because of that, I'm supposed to listen to her and follow her. She went live and said the seat's for sale. You know that. You want me to sit in the office and take instructions from people that never even want a car. They're taking a right to work. Let me even go there. My point is, we came together as a family. And you know what we're doing right now? Is hurting the people that we were supposed to be fighting for. That is why you notice VPAC page is active again. It's not because I hate you. It's because everything that I thought of, everything that I create, everything I research, it must come out like you said it. Or someone else said it. We shouldn't get no credit for our work. Francis could spend 4 months researching something. It goes out, he don't get no credit for it. So we decided to put it on our own page. Not because we hate you. Not because we hate you. When we said you're exposed for your dishonesty, it's because of what you said on that live. I had a responsibility to respond. Because you knew you were lying. Because no one tried, Amanza, to bully you. There was a conversation in the group chat, which is still in our phone. One of the members of VPAC asked a question about a racist comment. And he wasn't getting the answer he wanted. Everything I'm saying now challenged me. The question was asked about a racist statement. The response was, did you ask Anil Nandalal what you said about coffee? Did you ask Charlie Clark what you said about... That wasn't the question. One of our members said something racist. They asked that particular leader, what's your position on this? You guys made a decision to delete that member from the chat. That member didn't go and Google your number. Your number was in the same chat. So because you blocked him from the chat, he responded to you privately, Amanza. And guess what he asked you? Amanza, you really gonna destroy this basically beautiful movement that we built instead of honoring a deal with VPAC? That is what he said. You turned it into a threat. How is that a threat? He's asking you, why are you guys deleting me from chat? Why are you guys doing all this when the fight between us privately is you just honoring your agreement? You went public. I'm not going to be bullied as a woman, and I'm not, that's not needed. It's uncalled for. We ain't going to bully you. It's we fought for you to be there. Even if we gave you 1 vote. You can have $99. It's not 100 unless you get a penny. I am not... There's no part of me that feels like I'm going to be a better person or I look better going down the road if I was the one going to Parliament tomorrow. If the sitting government does what's right tomorrow, I'm happy. If it takes you to make them do what's right, I'm happy. You know what I'm happy for? So every Guyanese can be a part of this will. But how do we ever tell? Imagine how hypocritical that would look. If we write to the government and calling them out for not being accountable or not being transparent when we can't do that ourselves. Imagine that. How do you try to hold someone accountable when you can't even hold yourself accountable when you're fighting at home? And that is all I was trying to clear up. That's all we were trying to clear up. And when you went public and make it seem like we're trying to bully you, because in our view, you did that so you can create the foundation for what happened now. So when you come out and say, I'm done with VPAC because of their bullyism and because of what they exposed, we didn't expose nothing. What we did is clear our name, because you guys have been on a whisper campaign that we are doing this and we're asking for what wasn't promised. So what we did is shared, not an edited recording, voice notes that was sent between the three of us. Where you said, you will give the VPAC the leader of the list. You said that in that recording, on that voice note. Who requested it? Beautiful Pastor Nigel London saying, hey, if we're three, everybody must hold something. You got the presidential candidate. I got the prime ministerial candidate. Give VPAC the leader of the list. And we said, yeah. So how are we asking you to reverse your position like you promised? You promised this. Think about it. You said that's what you'll give us. And we're just asking you to honor what you promised, Amanza. That makes us bad? Nah, man. Nah. Nah. You don't drag people's name for nonsense, man. We're the one that fought for you. We're the one that defended you. We're the one that went out there when anything was said and be the bad guy. Not everyone, me. All the pit bull work was me. Me ain't gonna get into details. All the pit bull work, that was my job. Because everybody else wanted to protect their image, you know? I'm the doorman. And I took it on. Because I cared for both of you. I called Nigel my brother and you my sister. Look at the last live we did at whatever that court is. It brought me to tears. And I said there that night, I can go home and sleep comfortable. Because I know I have two people. Look at that live. That will go into the National Assembly and defend me. That I trust. So how do I now fight for power? No. When you change what was promised, I told you I have to discuss it with Francis. And you had a problem with that. That is bad, Amanda. That is bad, Nigel. And this is looking bad on us. If we're going to continue as politicians, we have to change the way we operate. We have to change the way we think. We have to change the way we present ourselves to the people. Because this level of acting that I'm seeing now, this is an authentic me. There's no filtered me. Me, I don't notepad. This is real me. Okay? That is what was said, and I'll stand by that any day. What I saw the other night was a bunch of acting. Because that, like Francis said earlier in the live, that's not what me and Francis and you and everyone else see in a private room. So let's kill the acting. Because this, all that's going to do is continue to air a whole bunch of, because I promise anyone, every live that anyone do, I will continue to come out for the next 5 years. Because if I have to fight the PPP for 5 years to clear my name, I am prepared to fight forward, Guyana, to do the same. And you all know that I was the leader of VPAC. So all of it, I was in. And it's not a threat. I'm just saying. So we ain't got to lie to each other. We know what we promised each other. And you know, and Nigel's a man of God, I calling you to tell me I'm lying right now. I said to you, let Amanza go the full 5 years. When she said she wanted to give you 2 and give her 3. But I went on to say, the approach is wrong. You don't demand, you don't come and change the arrangement in the 9th inning. That is what I said. The approach is wrong. You promised it, honor it. And let us say take it. Because that is what we were prepared to do. Thank you, my viewers, for listening. This is a part of what happened, as much as I can remember off the top of my head. And let's see where this takes us. Because if I apologize to the people for having to expose this publicly. I apologize even to myself for being a part of this ghetto politics. As I might have to agree with Nigel London for this one. But who brought it here? Who put it in the? You can't go in the public and say something bad about one person and expect them to come out and defend themselves. It should not have been here in the first place. Matter of fact, before I end this live, the minutes will reflect, because the minute when we started that meeting, that was the first thing I said. I said, before we spend 1 minute trying to debate who was wrong, who was right, why, I am prepared as VPAC, the chairman of VPAC, to go in the public and pull back anything that was said, even if we have to take this, fall back on our sword, and pretend just to make this thing look the way it needs to look. We're prepared to do it. But only on the one condition. One is we ain't doing it just for you to continue to take advantage. Because you know what? I didn't have the political experience, neither did Francis. And